You're scrolling through your camera roll right now. Thousands of images, sunsets, meals, faces, places. Each one a perfect digital replica of a moment you lived. But here's the question your phone won't ask you. Do you actually remember any of them? The real answer is far stranger. You think you're preserving your life, but your brain is doing the exact opposite. Every time you tap that shutter button, you're telling your memory to take the day off. And your memory, being a very obedient servant, happily complies. This isn't laziness, it's a trade, a deal your ancestors never made, a deal that is quietly turning you into a ghost in your own life. Let's go back to the beginning. Your brain evolved in a world without screens, without notebooks, without cameras. For 2 million years, your ancestors walked the savannah with nothing but their own neural circuitry to hold onto what mattered. And what mattered was simple. Where is the water? Is that rustle a lion or the wind? Who in this tribe can I trust? Memory, in that world, was a survival tool. It was sharp, immediate, and deeply tied to your senses. You remembered the smell of rain before a flood, the exact angle of the sun at hunting time, the face of the person who shared their food. Your brain encoded all of this through a system called episodic memory. It linked sights, sounds, smells, and emotions into a single vivid package. That package was your life. And you could replay it at will because you had to. If you forgot the path to the watering hole, you died. If you forgot which berries were poisonous, you died. If you forgot the face of an enemy, you died. Memory was not a luxury. It was the sharpest blade in your toolkit. But then something changed. About 5,000 years ago, humans invented writing, and writing changed everything. Suddenly, you didn't have to remember the king's laws. You could carve them into stone. You didn't have to remember the family lineage. You could write it on a scroll. Your brain, ever efficient, looked at this new external storage and said, "Great, I can free up some space." This was the first great offload. And it worked beautifully. Civilization grew. Knowledge accumulated. But writing was slow. It was heavy. It required clay or papyrus. You couldn't write down every moment of your day, so your memory still held on to the texture of your life. Then came the photograph. And later, the smartphone. And suddenly you could capture everything. Every meal, every sunset, every face, every single moment of your existence, stored in a pocket-sized rectangle. Your brain looked at this and made a decision. A subconscious, biological decision. It said, "Why bother?" In 2011, a psychologist named Betsy Sparrow conducted a famous study at Columbia University. She asked participants to type a series of trivial facts into a computer. Half the group was told the computer would save their work. The other half was told the computer would delete it. Then they were tested on their memory of those facts. The result was staggering. The group that believed the computer had saved the information performed significantly worse on the memory test. They didn't remember the facts, but they remembered exactly where they had saved them, the folder name, the file location. Sparrow called this the Google effect. Your brain treats the internet as an extension of its own memory bank. It doesn't store the information itself. It stores the location of the information. You don't know the answer. You know where to find the answer. But that's just facts. What about your personal experiences? What about the texture of your life? In 2013, a psychologist named Linda Henkel from Fairfield University ran a now classic experiment. She took a group of students to a museum. She told them to observe certain exhibits and photograph others. Afterward, she tested their memory. The results were clear. The objects they photographed, they remembered less clearly. They couldn't recall the details. The color, the shape, the specific texture. Henkel called this the photo-taking impairment effect. The act of taking a photo actually impairs your memory of the moment. Why? Because you've offloaded the responsibility. Your brain says, "I don't need to hold on to this. The camera has it." So it stops encoding. It stops weaving the sensory details into a rich, emotional tapestry. You see the moment through the lens, but you don't experience it through your senses. Think about the last concert you attended. You probably watched half of it through your phone screen. Now, close your eyes. Can you hear the bass in your chest? Can you feel the vibration of the crowd? Can you smell the sweat and the dust? Or do you just see the tiny rectangle of light you recorded? This is the ghost generation. You are leaving behind a massive digital footprint. Hundreds of thousands of images, videos, and posts. But your internal archive is thinning. Your personal memories are becoming pale, faded copies of the ones stored in the cloud. And here is the counterintuitive twist. The more you capture, the less you possess. The more you record, the more you forget. You are trading richness for redundancy, emotion for documentation, life for a log. But it gets even stranger. Because it's not just your individual memory that's changing, it's your sense of self. Your identity is built on your memories. Psychologists call this the narrative self. It's the story you tell yourself about who you are, where you came from, what you've done. That story is woven from specific, vivid moments. The first time you fell in love, the smell of your grandmother's kitchen, the ache of a goodbye. When those moments are stored in high-definition pixels, but absent in your neural connections, your story begins to fragment. You become a curator of your own life, not a participant. You scroll past your own history, but you don't feel it anymore. You are a ghost haunting your own photograph. Now, consider the social dimension. In the past, memories were shared around campfires. An elder would tell a story, and the tribe would listen. The story would change slightly each time, growing richer with each retelling. The memory was alive. It was communal. Today, you share a photo on Instagram. It's static. It's perfect. It's finished. There's nothing left to discuss. No variation. No embellishment. The story is dead the moment you hit post. And what about the people in those photos? Do you remember the conversation you had with them? Do you remember the warmth of their hand? Or do you just remember the like count? Research by psychologists like Daniel Kahneman has shown that your remembering self is different from your experiencing self. Your experiencing self lives in the moment. Your remembering self looks back and constructs a summary. When you take a photo, you are serving your remembering self. But you are starving your experiencing self. You are trading the messy, raw, beautiful present for a clean, polished, forgettable past. So what do you do about it? You can't uninvent the camera. You can't delete your phone. But you can make a conscious choice. The next time you see a sunset, don't pull out your phone immediately. Take 5 seconds. Just look. Notice the gradation of color. The way the light touches the edge of a cloud. The feeling of the air on your skin. Let your brain do its original job. Let it encode the moment with all of its senses. Let it attach emotion to the image. Let it make the memory messy, imperfect, and deeply yours. Then, if you still want to take a picture, do it. But take it as a souvenir, not as a replacement. Because here is the truth that no algorithm will tell you. Your phone will remember the date, the time, and the location. But only your brain can remember how you felt. Only your brain can connect that moment to every other moment in your life. Only your brain can weave it into the story of who you are. The digital world is vast and permanent. Your neural world is fragile and fleeting. But it is the only one that truly belongs to you. Tonight, when the sun goes down, you will have a choice. You can watch it through a screen, or you can watch it with your eyes wide open. And if you choose the latter, you will remember it. Not as a pixelated file, but as a living, breathing part of your soul. Don't become a ghost in your own life. Stop recording. Start remembering.